let's go ahead and get started. All you'll need today is possibly 2 blocks, possibly a strap or a man's tie of some kind, something long, and maybe a blanket. So all those things are just extra props to help you in your journey. If you don't have them, that's okay. We're going to start laying down on our bellies just like we always do. Go ahead and let your head rest onto the floor. Let your legs be a little wider than hip distance apart. Soften your ankles, relax your neck, and feel the weight of your head resting against your hands. Start to take some deep breaths in and out, feeling your belly expand against the floor. And then as you exhale, feeling the belly button contract towards the spine just a little bit. So you can feel a nice rhythm to your breath, and you feel that rhythm in conjunction to the support of the floor. Take your time to breathe. Don't be in too much of a hurry here. Instead, just let your whole body relax against the ground, softening, letting go, releasing. And then when you're ready, take your legs nice and wide apart, bend both your knees, and start to windshield wiper the legs from side to side. As you move your legs to one direction, the opposite hip bone might lift, and as you move your legs to the other side, same thing will happen. So we're just letting the legs shift from side to side. You can let your head rest still on your arms here. I just have my head lifted so I can speak to you more clearly, so you can hear me a little better. Let's take it from side to side 1, maybe 2 more times. And then we'll come right back into center and extend our legs. We can press our hands into the floor, pull our belly button towards our spine, move our hips back towards our heels on the way into child's pose. So drawing the body back, rolling the hips back towards the heels, and letting your whole body stretch as deeply and as comfortably as you feel comfortable here. So again, focusing mostly on your comfort today, not really trying to push beyond that level of comfortability. Feeling a soft breath, continuous flow of breath, and not trying to push yourself to the point where you aren't capable of feeling the expansion and the release of the lungs. So taking 1 or 2 more breaths here, remembering that you can have your heads on your hands, on blocks. Trying to draw the buttocks back towards the heels. And then on your next inhalation, we're going to reach the arms forward and stretch the body forward into hands and knees. So we've done this every time in the beginning of our class. So as you inhale, you can let your belly draw down, lift your chest and your hips, and then as you exhale, round your spine. This first couple postures are just part of my personal grounding process for my students. But if you have a certain thing you like to do really makes your practice light up for you, then you can add that in here if you'd like to. Looking for comfort, looking for the stretches, the tone, the abdomen engaging as you exhale, the hip bones lifting. Noticing if there's any snap, crackles, or pops in your shoulders or your hips or your lower back, maybe even into your wrist. Now let's take that one more time, really finding that engagement and really finding that release. Awesome. Bring your spine to a neutral position. That means you're pulling your lower belly up and in. Your core is staying engaged. we're going to go ahead and walk our hands over to the left. And we're going to do the same thing as we move slightly to the left. So you're going to go ahead and move that cat-cow. But as you move, we're going to draw that left hip and left shoulder towards each other as we exhale. And then as we inhale, we're going to release back into center. Exhaling, pulling up and in into that left side, and then inhaling into center. Exhaling, pulling up and in, inhaling into center. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, pull up and in, inhale into center. Let's walk our hands over to the right. It'll be the same thing, but it's going to look a little different here. As you exhale, pull the right hip and the right rib together. Inhale, come back to center. You'll notice that there's more space in that left side as you contract through the right. Exhale and inhale. One more time. Exhale and inhale. Beautiful. Come back into center again. Hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, belly expands, chest lifts. Exhale, round your spine, pull it in. One or two more here. Last beautiful pause. And let's go ahead and bring the spine to a neutral position. Top of the head forward, tailbone's coming back, hands come forward from the shoulders. Press to the base of the thumbs and the first finger and spread and fan out through the fingertips. Let's draw back into a down dog, lifting the heels as high as we can, bringing the chest closer to the thighs. Look back at your feet, take them about hip distance apart. Really lift up through the tailbone, really reach through the heels. Go ahead and start to walk out your dog, bending one knee and lowering the opposite heel towards the floor, switching out between the two legs as you breathe. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. Breathe deep as you move. Remember that we're not trying to combat here, we're not trying to fight our breath. One more time, just like this. Go ahead and lift both heels as high as you can, bringing the chest a little bit closer, really reaching up through the tailbone, through the sits bones. Squeezing the inner thighs so that they're reaching back a little bit. And then lower the heels wherever they go, knowing that it's not important that the heels touch the ground at all. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. Take one more breath here. And then for your next inhalation, we're going to roll forward into a plank. And then we're going to exhale back to our down dog. Good job. Inhale, roll forward into your plank, really engaged. Exhale, draw back into your down dog. Just working into the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, draw back. This time as you inhale, I'd like you to hold that plank. Take a big deep breath out, squeeze the belly. And then on your next inhalation, let's lower the knees, bend the elbows a little bit, and lift the center of your chest. We're going to exhale as we bow down. So your elbows are going to come down by your ribs, and we're going to come all the way down. I'm going to move these blocks out of my way. And then we're going to inhale and lift right back up. You might not lift as high, and that's okay. Exhale. Relaxing a little bit here, and then inhale. Remember, sometimes 2 is enough, but we're going to do 4, but you don't have to do 4, especially if you don't feel like doing 4. Inhale. Exhale, take it all the way down. Inhale, lift it up. And then exhale, tuck your toes, come back to down dog. Stretch it back, see if that's changed anything in your heels. See if that's changed anything in your legs, in your back, in your chest. Take one more breath, just like this. And then on our next inhalation, we're going to walk those feet forward towards our hands. However you get there is fine. Big deep steps, tiny little jumps, hopping, handstands, however you want to get here. If you're using your blocks, go ahead and place them next to your feet. And then press through your feet and inhale on your way up, adjusting clothes accordingly. Reach your arms up and overhead, take a slight back bend. And then exhale, bring the arms down by your sides. Find a nice deep breath in and out. Next inhalation, arms come up, big stretch. Next exhalation, arms come down, nice forward fold. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. Shift the weight forward towards the balls of the feet a little bit. Let the back of the legs open here, so if you need a little bend in the knees, that's okay. You can place your hands behind your calves, really working yourself into the forward fold. Let the hands rest on the blocks, whatever works best for you. On your next inhale, place your hands to your shins. Lengthen the spine, taking the top of the head forward. And then as you exhale, step back again and find your nice forward fold. In your next inhalation, we'll step that right foot back. Left knee over top of the ankle. Let's lower that right knee straight down to the mat, untuck the toes. On our next inhale, we'll lift the arms up, so bringing that breath up as we lift the arms up. Good. Hold here, letting that left knee stay over your ankle. Breathing deep. Let's go ahead and interlace our fingers, turn the palms inside out, and just push straight up to the sky. Let the chest be level. One more breath, just like this. And then exhale and lower the hands down onto your blocks. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, come into that high lunge. On your next inhale, step the right foot forward, forward fold with an exhale. Inhale, press the feet into the floor, reach the arms up, big stretch. Exhale, forward fold, take it all the way back down. Inhale, hands to shins, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, find a strong lunge. Go ahead and lower that left knee to the floor, untuck your toes. And on your next inhalation, we're gonna lift the arms. Arms come up, core comes in, pants stay up hopefully, lower belly is strong. Holding here, breathing, let that right knee stay over the ankle. Interlace your fingers again, turn the palms inside out, press up, roll your shoulders down. Exhale, take the hands down to your blocks, tuck your back toes, inhale, lift. Exhale, step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms up, big stretch to the sky. Exhale, take the arms down by your sides. We're going to open up by stepping that left foot back. So the left leg's going to come well behind us. And we're going to have the right toes facing the small side of the mat as the left toes are facing forward, coming into a wide leg stance, preparing for our warrior two. Arms come out to the side, pull the lower belly in, look for space between the ribs and the hips here on both sides. Start to slowly bend that right knee over your ankle. Notice if the knee wants to roll in, and then see if you can draw that knee back a little bit. Not that it's behind the toes, but you want the knee to line up with maybe the first toe. Maybe you can see the first toe, at least see the big toe. Try not to grip the mat with your toes. Bending that right knee, hold here. Look through the right fingertips. Shoulders down and back, space on both sides of the waist. Space in the front and the back sides of the belly. Stay here for one more breath. On your next inhalation, take that left hand back, reach your right arm up. It's a long time to be within this right knee bend over your ankle. Stay breathing. One more breath. Inhale, come back into warrior two. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Let's turn both feet to face forward. And then turn the left foot out. Arms come out to the side, right toes facing the front or the forward space, and left toes facing the small side of your mat. Space wide on each side and front and back. So you're engaging your core here to keep yourself strong, engaging your thighs. Bend your left knee. Adjust where the knee is. Roll the shoulder blades down your back. Lift through the top of your head. Stay breathing. Couple more breaths here. Try not to grip the mat with your toes. Don't collapse your right ankle in. Push through the right pinky toe side of your foot. Lift brightly up from the foot. Hold here, last breath. Right hand to your back leg, left arm comes up, finding that reverse warrior. It can go as deeply as you want it to. I'm going to show it in a more upright version, trying to keep space on both sides of my waist so that I don't collapse into my right side. Holding here for just a little longer. Don't forget about that left knee. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, straighten both legs, turn both feet to face forward. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn the hands inside out and push up. Hold here for a breath as you move the palms back a little bit. Engage your core. Lift through the center of your chest as you descend through your shoulder blades. We're going to take these hands and place them right at the base of the skull. So right behind the lower part of the skull, the upper part of the neck. Let the head rest into your hands, elbows roll back. And then as you exhale, bend your knees a little bit. Bring your chin to your chest. Let the elbows hang as you fold forward, coming into what we call a neck pull, but we're not really pulling on the neck. You're just letting the arms hang, and the weight of the arms is giving you enough pressure to stretch out the back of the neck. Deep breaths here. Remembering not to hold your breath, not to do anything that makes you feel like you have to hold your breath. Lifting through the tailbone, shifting weight slightly forward towards the balls of your feet. Last 2 breaths here. Pulling the core in, bend your knees, press through your feet to rise all the way up, reach your arms overhead, have your face be a little red. Turn your right foot out again. Bend your right knee, find warrior 2. Inhale, find that reverse warrior, left hand back. Exhale, take that right elbow to your right thigh, or take your right hand to the block or floor behind your right leg. Move your knee back, move your leg back towards the arm, rotate the chest, let the left arm come up and breathe. Slow, deep breath here. Nice, strong inhale and exhale. Lift the center of the chest away from the tail. Create space in both sides of the waist, in the back and the front of the body. One more breath. Inhale, come back into warrior 2. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Inhale, turn both feet to face forward. Exhale, turn that left foot out. You might need to grab your block on this side. Absolutely fine. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, tall spine, long torso. Exhale, left knee over your ankle. Inhale, right hand to your back leg. Exhale, left elbow to your thigh, right arm by your ear, or left hand to the block, right arm to the sky. Rotating the chest, rotating the ribs, reaching straight up, lifting the chest towards the center of the chin or towards the center of the head, moving that left knee back towards the arm. Really finding space in that left side, brightening up the center of the chest. Moving it away from the tail, so don't round to get here. Really reach and engage the core. One more breath. That's alive, maybe 5. Try not to wiggle your toes into the ground, instead soften the toes. Left knee keeps moving back. Let's be here for one more breath. That one was a true one. And then inhale, come back into center, warrior 2. Exhale, turn both feet to face forward again. You can have a block nearby if you need to, or you can decide to just hold that block on the side of the mat wherever you want. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms back. Interlace the fingers behind your back, roll your shoulder blades back and down. As you exhale, making sure the toes are in line, remember you'll have to adjust this. Bend your knees a little bit, engage your core. Exhale, forward fold, arms come over the head. They're gonna go wherever they feel like going. See if you can clasp the palms nice and tightly here. If this doesn't work for you, place your hands on your hips, let your hands rest on the floor. Shift that weight forward a little bit towards the balls of the feet, let the head be heavy and the neck be long. Let's do 2 more breaths just like this, breathing deep into the belly. 1 more. Bend both your knees, come up nice and slow. Again, nice red face, right? Inhale, reach the arms out. Turn your right foot out. Bend your right knee, come into warrior 2. Inhale, left arm back. Exhale, right elbow to the right thigh or right hand to the block. Deep breath in. Exhale, left hand to the floor. And inhale, lift your back heel. Hold here. You can use a block under your hand. Always just be willing to move your blocks where you need them. And then on your next inhalation, reach your right arm to the sky. Not dropping your shoulder into your ear, but lifting out and twisting. Try not to lift that right buttock up too high. Keep the buttock in line with the knee. Push back through your left heel. Hold here, breathe. Stretch away from the center of your chest, pressing into the block, reaching into the sky. Bending that right knee over your ankle, pushing back through your heel. Let's do 2 more breaths. Last one. Beautiful. Exhale that right hand down to the block, probably behind your right ankle if it's there. Lower your left heel to the floor. You'll probably want to take this block under your left hand. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, both feet face forward, the wide side of your mat, and making sure they're in line. Inhale, turn your left foot out. Heels in line with the right instep. Arms come out. Exhale, bend your left knee. Place that block right behind your ankle. Inhale, hand back. Exhale, left hand to the block or left elbow to the thigh. Deep breath in. Exhale, right hand to the floor. Inhale, lift the back heel. Exhale, reach back through your heel, push forward through your left knee. Next inhalation, left hand to the sky. You can also place your block under your right hand here. Roll the shoulder blades back. Don't lift the hips. Push back through your heel and breathe. Stay with your inhale and your exhale, rotating, pulling that left knee towards midline, keeping the right heel facing up, pressing back. Stay breathing, opening the chest. Stay strong, even though you might not want to. Let's be here 1 more breath. Exhale, take your left hand to the floor. Inhale, lower your right heel. Exhale, grab that block. Inhale, come back into center, warrior 2. Exhale, both feet face forward, line up your toes. So you might notice that your legs are starting to get wider and wider and wider. So keeping that in mind when you come into your postures. As the legs get a little wider, they might be a little more difficult. From here, we're going to go ahead and place that block in front of us if we need it. Again, hands can come to the hips this time. Shoulder blades draw back. And then as we exhale, we'll exhale as we hinge from the hips. A little bend in the knees on your way down. Engage your thigh. Take the head as far down as it wants to go. Keep lifting the tailbone up. Shifting that weight slightly forward so the back of the legs release. And then let the hands come down to the floor. Making sure both feet face forward and the heels are directly behind the feet. The head can come wherever it wants to here. So if you want to have your head on the floor and place your hands behind your head and come into a wide leg headstand, you're welcome to do that. That is up to you. Some people might be here and want to go into a handstand. Whatever you want, you might want to try a crow. This is a good time to play with it. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. Remember to take your breath deep and full into the body. One or two more breaths here. Beautiful. Come out from whatever pose you decide to come into in this point. Bend your knees a little bit. Place your hands onto your hips. Engage your core. Lift your body all the way up. Again, probably a little flush from the head hanging down. Take a moment. Breathe deep. Soften the breath. Try not to hold the breath. On your next inhalation, turn your right foot out. Right heel lines up with the left instep. We're going to engage the right thigh muscle into the hip. Place both hands onto the hip bones, and then we're going to draw this right hip back as this left hip comes over the right. Engaging the thigh all the way up, not just straightening the leg, engaging the leg. Push that right hip back a little bit more. Roll your left shoulder back a little more so that your chest is open here and your core is engaged. Your back is strong, your waist is strong, the legs are strong. Breathe here. You can stay here. You can move the hand to the inner thigh. You can move the hand to the inner calf. You could even move your hand to a high block, which is what I'm going to choose today. Make sure the hand's under the shoulder if you're doing so. Move your left hip back. Block is always behind the ankle. And then bring that left arm straight up. This is your this is your triangle pose. Move the right hip away from your armpit. Try to imagine creating as much space on the left side and the right side, so you're equaling out the space. And space doesn't mean that you won't have something hanging down or there won't be some kind of flesh here. Everyone has flesh. But instead, you're just looking for space between armpit and hip. So it's different than looking like there's the same exact line. It's more that you feel space there. One more breath. Awesome. Bend your right knee. Take that left hand to the floor. Lift your back heel. And then lower your left knee down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Move your block out of the way for a moment. Place both hands to the instep side of your right foot. Your right knee is bent. You're going to walk that right foot out to the side so that you have room for your hands to stay under your shoulders. Engage by lifting the center of your chest and moving the hips forward a little bit. Breathe deep here. Nice slow inhales, nice slow exhales. Pull that right knee towards your body. A lot of times our knee wants to roll out. I'd like you to roll it in. Keep moving the hips down and forward so the hips are evenly pressing towards the earth. Let's do one more breath here. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders down. Beautiful. Tuck your back toes. See if you can lift your left knee off the ground from here. Very nice. Keep your left hand on the floor and take that right hand to your right thigh. Go ahead and turn the chest towards that right leg, pressing back through your left heel. You're rotating again. This time the leg's just a little out of the center. Right arm comes up. Right hand comes down. Go ahead and lower the left heel to the floor. Very nice. Remember, you're probably going to want to block if you used it on this side. So grab it in your left hand. Bend that right knee. Come into Warrior Two. Straighten your right leg. Turn both feet to face forward. Notice the difference between this hip and the other. Adjust in whatever manner you need to adjust. Take a deep breath in and out. Make sure you're still breathing. You're not holding your breath for these poses. Holding your breath does not give you any experience of the pose. It just makes you want to get out of it sooner. Here we go. Take it to the left. Right toes face forward. Left heel lines up with the right instep. Strong legs on both sides. Block can come behind the ankle if you're going to be using it. Hands to your hip bones. From here, start to shift that left hip back while engaging the left thigh muscle, so pulling that left knee up. As you move the left hip back, the right hip and right shoulder roll back. So left hip comes towards the right hip comes towards the ceiling and back. Starting to come into that nice, strong, long spine. Strong right leg, strong right side of the body, strong core. So your core is holding you up, not your hands when they come wherever they need to be. You can place the palm wherever you need to be. I'm going to use my block today. Squeeze up and in through the lower belly. See if you can lift the pelvic floor. And then from here, rotate the chest. Bring the right arm straight up to the sky. And enjoy a moment in your triangle pose. Finding your breath slow and steady. Engaging, not bringing this right arm behind your body, but instead the shoulder and the wrist are all in one line. Moving that left hip away from the armpit, looking for space on both sides. Just breathing. Finding each inhale and exhale Working with your breath, not in spite of your breath. Looking for that space. Last breath here. Beautiful. Let's bend that left knee. Place the hand to the floor. Lift your back heel and lower your right knee to the ground. Untuck your toes if you can. Move both of your hands to the instep side of your left foot so the hands are under the shoulders. Walk your left foot out to give yourself space. Hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Make sure that the hips feel like they're drawing down and forward here. Pulling up and in through your pelvic floor, engaging your core. I know it's a lot of words. Staying with your inhale and your exhale, keeping the engagement in your left thigh, so bring it in a little bit. Hips draw down, left knee stays by the arm. Couple more breaths here, just slow inhales and exhales. And then from here, tuck your back toes. Let's lift our right knee off the ground and spin that left arm straight up to the sky. Just a couple breaths here. Nice slow inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Grab hold of your block with your left hand. And then from here, we're going to spin that right heel to the floor. Bring ourselves into warrior two. Turn both feet to face forward. This is our last time coming into a wide leg forward fold. And we're actually only going to come down halfway to start. Your blocks can come in front of you if you need to. Hands come to the hip bones again, so right into the hip crease, I should say, where your thighs and your hips come together, or thighs and pelvis. And then from here, little bend in your knees, feet are lined up. Big toes are in line, pinky toes are in line. Pull up and in through the lower belly and core, and then exhale, little bend in the knees on your way down halfway. Place your hands down onto your blocks, or place your hands down onto the floor. From this position, we're going to let the neck relax. And we want the top of the head to come forward as much as the tailbone is reaching back. Shift that weight forward towards the balls of the feet just a little bit. Start to lift the hip bones up a little higher. And then from this position, we're going to walk our hands to the left, as far to the left as you feel comfortable going. So walking all the way towards that left foot, shift your weight forward, walk your right hand a little closer. You can have blocks under your hands here. And then we're going to keep that right hand planted on the floor and reach that left arm straight up into the sky. Exhale, lower that left hand. Start to make your way across your body and all the way over to your right foot. Left hand's going to remain planted, core engaged. Inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. Remember, you can use blocks under your hands here. You don't even have to go as far over if you don't want to. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Start to walk a little further to the right. Turn your right foot out, lift your left heel. Good, hold here. We're right back into a lunge. Next inhalation, step back into plank, into down dog. Although you could do plank if you wanted to here. It depends on how adventurous you feel. This is also a beautiful time for a vinyasa, so if you wanted to come into plank and lower down into a chaturanga, and then lift into an up dog and then draw back into a down dog, that's up to you. If it's not part of your practice or you have no clue what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Let's enjoy having the hips be nice and level and no longer having the legs wide. And then take 1 or 2 more breaths just like this. Let's lift the heels as high as we can, and we're going to bend those knees right down onto the ground. Take it down slow as you exhale, draw back, child's pose. Relax your body. Remember to check in with your breath again. Making sure your inhale and your exhale feel slow, steady, relaxed even. and even. Let's do one more breath just like this, letting that body float right into the floor. Beautifully done. We're going to come forward onto our elbows. So the elbows are going to stay underneath of the shoulders. We'll have an interlace of the fingers in front of us. And then as we exhale, we're going to lift the hips up into a dolphin. So the legs will look like you're in down dog, while the elbows are on the floor and the forearms are down on the ground. And we have interlaced hands. You don't have to let your heels touch the floor here, but if they do, that's great. My heels do not touch the floor here. You can walk your feet in nice and close. Depending on what you do for a living, your hamstrings might be pretty tight. That's why my hamstrings are tight, even though I do this for a living. Lowering the heels, lifting the hips, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, rolling the head away from the mat. Broadening the back and chest. Holding here, I know we're upside down still. Think of this as an inversion practice without actually putting your legs in the sky. Or some of you might be jumping into a scorpion here. Or a hollow back. Last 2 breaths. Last one. Excellent. Come out of your balance if you were there. Lower your knees. Roll back again. Child's pose. Let's take one last breath just like this. Beautiful. Roll forward into hands and knees. We'll place that left hand directly underneath of our chest, and we're going to inhale and lift that right arm to the sky. So we're back into this revolved position we've been visiting over and over again. And as we exhale, we're going to take this right arm straight underneath of our left, slide it against the floor, let the right shoulder rest, right ear to the ground. Place your left hand flat onto the ground, press into the floor, and rotate the chest. We're going to be here for one more breath. Press that left hand into the ground to help you up. Right hand comes under the shoulder. Awesome. Right hand comes a little closer to the chest. Left arm comes up to the sky to start, and then exhale, rotate under. Moving that left arm away from you. Pressing into this right hand. Just a couple more breaths. Pressing that right hand into the ground, placing both hands onto the floor. From this position, we're going to come into seated. So if you have a blanket nearby, this is a good time to sit that blanket underneath of your buttocks. You can decide how you want to do this. Some people like to sit right onto the floor, and that's okay too. I personally enjoy a little bit of lift underneath my hips, especially on days that I feel a little tight like today. So then from here, we're going to bring our buttocks onto our blanket or our bolster or our pillow. And now we have the option of using a strap. So for those of you who have a strap, mazel tov, we'll use the strap. If you don't have the strap, don't worry about it. Nothing's going to go crazy if you can't use the strap. So then from here, let's go ahead and bend the left knee and bring it out to the side and have the right leg facing forward so that your toes face up and your chest is lifted. We're going to reach the arms up either with or without the strap. So if you have the strap between your hands, great. If not, that's okay. So holding that strap up high, exhale, forward fold, grab hold of the ball of the foot with your strap. Push your right big toe away, lift the center of your chest. And then as you exhale, start to slowly walk your body forward towards the leg. Think about how you want to descend here. You don't want to round your spine. Think of all the organs in the front of your body that you're collapsing just to get your head down there. Instead, think of this as keeping the body upright, finding space in the front and back sides as well, and leaning forward, just like we did in all of our other postures. Now, if you're feeling very flexible today and want to do so, go ahead and just bring your body down over that right leg. If not, stay upright. Work on getting length through your hips, through your back, through your spine. Stay here for 3 breaths, shoulders down. 2 breaths. Last one. Inhale, come all the way up. Go ahead and send that left leg out. Bend your right knee out to the side. Same thing happens over on this side. Arms come up and overhead. Exhale, grip the ball of the foot, toes face up. Spine is long, core is in. Shoulders are down. Top of the head's rising. You can place a block underneath of your right knee or in any of these poses under your knee if the knee's too high or feels uncomfortable. Exhale on your way down, letting the body fold and gripping on the straps wherever you want. Holding the foot, maybe the hands come to the floor, maybe you're just holding the strap the whole time and nothing's really changing, and that's okay too. But we're keeping the spine as long as possible. If you feel like you want to fold, you can, but I want you to imagine trying to create space in the side waist, in the front and the back of the body. Holding here, using straps if you need to. Let's be here for about 4 more breaths. Last couple. And then inhale, come all the way up. Move those straps out of the way. Go ahead and unseat yourself, or move the blanket out from underneath of you. And we're going to lay down onto the mat, onto our back. Once you're laying down onto your back, see what happens to your body. See if you can feel the whole body just releasing to the floor. Allow the feet to relax, allow the arms to relax. Just see what's happening as you take a mini Shavasana right here, right now. Right before we're getting to the full end of class. Notice the parts of your body that might be tight, the parts of your body that might be pulling away from the mat, or maybe they're dropping deeper in one side than they are the other. Allow your breath to be slow and steady, breathing deep into your belly. Excellent. And then from here, bend both your knees, place your feet flat onto the floor about mat distance apart, and start to windshield wiper the legs from side to side, much like we did at the beginning of class, only this time laying on our back. Letting that movement happen naturally, smoothly, rotating from side to side. One more time. Beautiful. Come back into center. And then from this position, we're going to walk the feet hip distance apart. Move the heels closer to the buttocks. For those of you who like to use a strap for this, you can take that strap and wrap it around the front of your ankles, letting the strap legs hang down by your sides. Some of us are easily able to grab our ankles here, or the whole ankle, or just the heels. And for those of you who can do that, you might not want to use a strap. Go ahead and grab a block. Place that block between your knees, keeping your hips level and also keeping your knees hip distance apart. So from here, we're going to go into a bridge. So there's many ways to go into a bridge, as you know. But for right now, if you'd like to, you can start with just placing the hands on the floor, pressing through your feet, engaging the thighs, and starting to push through the feet as you lift your hips. You're going to lift your hips as high as you can. I'm going to keep mine a little low for a moment because I'm speaking and it's not good to speak in a bridge. We can draw the chest closer to the chin and let the chin slightly be towards the chest so that you're opening up the back of the neck here. And then from this position, you might start to lift the hip bones to the sky, move the knees away from you, and move the hips up as the chest rolls towards you. So you're creating as much space as you can from the knees to the shoulders. It's really important here that once you're in a full bridge, again, I'm in a very low bridge on purpose, that you don't roll your head from side to side. So once you start to come into this pose and lift, just listen to the words I'm saying and don't force yourself into something crazy here by turning your head. That's how we injure ourselves in yoga. Don't need to see what's happening here. Nothing is going on here that's important. Pressing through your feet, lifting your hips up. Once your hips are as high as they can go ahead and grab the sides of your mat and maybe wiggle one shoulder blade underneath of you and then the other. Maybe this is where you stop and just pull the mat apart as you lift your hips. Maybe you try grabbing the strap next to your body and start to walk your hands closer to your ankles, lifting your hips as high as you can and really holding onto that strap as you move your knees away from you and lift the center of your pelvis. Squeeze the block, hold here, keep breathing. Feel that rise and fall in your belly. Last 2 breaths. Last 1, lower the hips down slow, release the strap, release the block. Place your feet mat distance apart, the strap can stay there if it wants to, and then just exhale as you lower the knees from side to side. And maybe this time you turn your head from side to side too. Now that there's no pressure on the back of your neck, your head can roll. Beautiful. We're going to go up one more time, and this is the time that I'm going to suggest, if it's in your practice and you would like to do a shoulder stand, this whole class has had options of going into inversions. So if you would like to go into shoulder stand here, you're welcome to do so. Do it the way your teacher has taught you. I usually suggest using a blanket underneath of you, but if that is not the way in which you were taught and it's working for you, then that is completely up to you. You can go ahead and go into shoulder stand now. If you don't know how to do shoulder stand, this isn't the class. I'm not going to teach you. We are going back into bridge. So remembering that there were many opportunities for more advanced inversions, and that is something you can work up to, but you can also get a lot of the same benefits just without the freedom of flight by doing these other variations. So the arms come down. Again, going back into your bridge. If you're in shoulder stand, you're just kind of hanging out here. If that's comfortable for you, you can come in and out as many times as you want. You can go into fish as well. So pressing through your feet, lifting up, maybe gripping the sides of the mat, pulling apart, all of the things we just said, lifting those hips nice and high, grabbing the straps if you want to, or reaching towards your ankles. We're going to be up here for 5 more breaths. Last breath, lower down slow. Take the straps and the blocks away. People who went into shoulder stand, I would like you to go into fish pose. And if you want to give it a try, people who are in bridge, you can try fish pose as well. You're going to let your legs rest onto the floor. We're going to come up onto our elbows, and we're going to sit onto our hands. The elbows are going to come nice and close together. We're going to lift the chest and start to take the top of the head down to the ground. So you're having the head touch the floor, and we're opening up through the front of your throat. Something that happens to be slightly collapsed in those other poses. And again, try not to talk in that posture. I shouldn't have done that. Just breathe. can't do fish pose today, that's okay. Lay on your back, do your windshield wipers. See how that feels. One more breath. And lowering down. Beautiful. Everybody join the windshield wipers. So if you were already doing it, you just get a little longer here. And then let's come right back into center. And then from here, let's extend just that left leg. For those of you who might have a little thing going on with the neck, you can place a blanket underneath of your head, letting your head just rest on that blanket. Pull your right knee into your chest. Place that left hand to the outside of your right knee. And go ahead and turn the head to the right as you bring the right knee across your body to the left. Give yourself a couple more breaths in this position. And let's pull ourselves back into center. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Pull that left knee into your chest. Right hand to the outside of your left knee and carry across, turning your head to look over the left shoulder. For those of you who have the knee up and away from the floor, like myself, you can place that block underneath your knee, really scooching to the outside of the hip. Let's come out nice and slow. And then let's keep the feet on the floor and keep the knees bent. Adjust your head and your neck. Make sure that you're feeling pretty comfortable here. We're going to go into a pelvic tilt here just before we start to lay down for our final Shavasana. A pelvic tilt is a very simple but very small motion. As you inhale, the tailbone is going to point down and the pelvis is going to rock forward. And then as you exhale, the tailbone is going to point slightly up, angling up, and you're going to pull the lower back towards the floor and draw the pelvis down, or in, I should say. So as you inhale, releasing the pelvis, tailbone rocks towards the floor. And then exhale, lifting the tailbone, shifting and rocking back a little bit. Inhaling, tailbone down. Exhaling, tailbone up. Notice that the lower back never actually leaves the floor. This is just a rocking sensation onto the very tip of the tailbone or the very bottom of the lower back. You can let your hands rest on your belly. Try not to move the knees too much. You can place blocks between your knees if you want to. And just start to let this action happen from that lower abdomen. And think of that action happening into the lower abdomen, into the pelvis. Moving slow and steady. Letting your breath rock your body, and that rocking of your body really soften. Bringing the attention into your pelvis and imagining that you can release all of the tension, all of the tightness. If you can let go of all of the negative thoughts that you've placed between your hips. Imagine that nice, gentle tilting and rocking of the pelvis starts to settle the whole nervous system. Giving you space, giving you time. Giving you the opportunity to really know yourself deeply. Looking for that rhythm of the breath and the movement. We'll bring that spine to a neutral position and we'll stop rocking the pelvis. We'll take our feet about mat distance apart, and then one last time just rock the hips from side to side or the knees from side to side just to come fully back into center. And then from here we'll come right into our final position of corpse pose. Let the legs fully extend. Let the arms rest out by your sides, the palms face up. Let the belly rise and fall with your breath. And see how heavy and grounded and secure the lower back, hips, and buttocks feel, maybe even the legs. See if you can feel the legs and buttocks and lower back, just that heavy weight into the floor. Allow your eyes to close. And a softness to come into your breath. Feel the full balance of your body against the floor, letting your upper body start to slowly relax just as deeply as the lower body. Take just a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. your left hand into the floor and come all the way up into seated. And bring the hands together in front of your heart if that is in your practice today. Let the shoulders draw down as you lift the center of your chest towards your thumbs. Bow the head. Thank you so much for coming and seeing this video, and doing yoga with me